City volunteers prepare to hold supply distributions and free clinics in Mexico for quake victims. We'll look at how people in Taiwan are pursuing hobbies or attending extended learning institutes to relieve pressure. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Siri Su. Thank you for joining us. We begin our program today with stories of Tzu Chi volunteers delivering disaster relief efforts. In the aftermath of the massive earthquake in Mexico, Tzu Chi volunteers from 12 countries are preparing to hold aid distributions starting on December 7th. They plan to host 6 large-scale aid distributions and free clinics to help more than 10,000 families. In one of the distribution areas, Taiwan, the mayor has declared that the aid distribution date, December 7th, is Tzu Chi Day. With aerial photography, one can see that amongst Taiwan houses, many walls have fallen and the floors have collapsed. 52-year-old Veronica breaks into tears as she describes to volunteers how she lost her home.
3 families live in our building. Now some of them have rented other places. My mother and I are currently staying at another place. My mother is 80 years old and has kidney problems. Life is very difficult after the quake struck. My mother is old and feeble and she wants to return home.
This 29-year-old Ulysses also feels helpless. The air conditioner repair shop where he works has been severely damaged. Therefore, he has been without income for several months. After we measured a creek on the ground, we found it is about 70 to 90 centimeters deep.
After the quake, our financial situation is not good because we cannot live at home. Many people are forced to rent places or stay with their relatives or friends.
Tenemos que vivir con familiares o tenemos que pagar una renta.
Tzu Chi volunteers deliver the aid supply vouchers into the hands of the affected residents.
While the houses may appear fine, there are actually a lot of cracks inside these houses, so it is very dangerous for the residents to live here. Tzu Chi will be providing them with aid supplies at our distribution on December 7th.
The distribution date, December 7th, has also been declared by the mayor as Tzu Chi Day.
Master, I'm grateful that Tzu Chi volunteers have come to Taiwan to help out disaster victims after the September 19th earthquake. In addition to giving out supplies, they've also given us friendly exchanges.
Contamos ahora con su solidaridad, con su amistad.
The mayor also exchanges caps with Tzu Chi volunteers. The city logo on the cap represents a wellspring of water. The volunteers hope they can bring hope and a better future to the quake victims. As the start of distributions approaches, Tzu Chi volunteers are making final preparations. After almost a month at sea, 2 shipping containers delivering over 12,000 eco-friendly blankets from Taiwan finally arrived in Mexico. After being unloaded, they'll be repacked and sent to different distribution sites. Let's take a look.
After almost a month at sea, 2 shipping containers delivering 12,600 eco-friendly blankets from Taiwan finally arrive in Mexico.
It actually only took a day and a half to clear customs. It usually takes 5 days to do that. We're very grateful for everyone's effort and all the blessings along the way. We can finally unload the containers today.
Right now I'm here helping preparing the blankets, just transporting from the container to the pallet, and tomorrow we're going to put it on the truck again. All these preparation really make me realize that to accomplish something really big, you want to help the people. There's a lot more work to be done before the actual event.
Tai Shenfang, a Taiwanese businessman who resides in Mexico, is supporting the mission by providing his warehouse and manpower.
It's important that we help right now. Later, we will see how we can recognize our other work duties.
To show his support, the truck driver we hired also joined in to help unload and repack.
I wanted to help since the earthquake, and now I have the opportunity to give my support. It's a pleasure to do it. I'm eager to do even more.
Working together, we will make sure the mission succeeds. A wave of love traveled across the ocean to Mexico and will help those in need starting December 7th.
2 years after the major earthquake struck Nepal, Tzu Chi is still delivering assistance to people in this country. Tzu Chi volunteers from Malaysia and Nepal recently visited one home for handicapped children and an orphanage to bring them daily goods and much needed love and care. Let's join them there.
With bright smiles on the children's faces, they sing and dance with the volunteers.
3, 2, 1.
They also make cards to thank the teachers.
They care us very well, and I love my teacher very much. Thank you.
The Pantang Care Children's Home in Sati Care Village is about 2 hours away from Kathmandu by car, but Tzu Chi volunteers from Malaysia and Nepal still go through mountains to give these children daily goods, knowledge, and a lot of love.
I learn respect elders and love younger, speak politely, truth, be honest.
And I would like to pay her my sincere gratitude and thankful for her kindness.
After the major earthquake happened in Nepal 2 years ago, Tzu Chi has never stopped caring for the locals. They once delivered goods to Swaga Children's Home in Bhaktapur, which housed 18 children with physical disabilities. When they see the volunteers again, they still sing and dance to welcome the volunteers. The volunteers have brought wheelchairs, tables, and other items to them. It is not easy to move these items in the small alleys, so the volunteers line up to pass forward these goods.
Are you ready?
The volunteers also brought these children to a nearby lotus pond for fun.
We don't go outing because it's difficult.
We normally don't go out because it's very difficult for the kids to go out. When you took the kids out in the car, they could see everything in the pound. The kids were happy and I was happy too.
So children are happy, then I'm so happy.
The happy moments are short, but they will remember it forever.
The flooding in Penang, which occurred in November, has the entire country of Malaysia concerned. Citizens are digging into their wallets and donating what they can. In total, 850 stores have responded to help canvass for donations to aid in Tzu Chi's disaster relief efforts. Some are even donating 1 to 3 days of income to help Tzu Chi. Even the volunteers as far as the eastern Malaysia state of Sabah have mobilized to canvass for donations.
Volunteers from Tampuruli, Sabah don't go straight home after sorting recyclables, but head to the city to canvass for donations.
We need to head to Tampuruli to canvass donations for the flood victims in Penang.
Volunteers head to the nearby market to ask for donations. Holding tightly onto the donation box, they bow 90 degrees in thanks.
In the beginning, I was shy, but standing in front of the crowd when they give me positive feedback, it gives me more courage to ask for donations.
Transforming encouragement into love, hope spreads to more places. Actually, in the entire Malaysian country, 850 stores, big and small, are participating in this disaster relief donation campaign.
Mainly, we've extended the donation campaign to businesses, storefronts, and factories. There are even individuals that are hoping to spread our ideals to each far-reaching corner.
We just had the lunch in aid of the Penang Flood Relief Project, organised by Tzu Chi. The food is really delicious, vegetarian.
What the organisation is doing is really great to help victims of the floods. They came along and had a really great time, lots of nice food, and we feel good that we've helped out some people.
Donations filled with love are also taking place at the small vendor shop. 2 family members of a dialysis patient is donating their day's income to the good cause.
It feels unfortunate, so as long as I can give a little, I will do so.
I've seen Tzu Chi mobilize to many places to help clean up or whatnot, and I thought if I can join the effort, then it would be my pleasure to do so.
Accumulating love and merits, it is hoped the flood victims return to their normal life as quickly as possible.
Since the first community college was established in Taiwan in 1998, adult learning has been widely popular amongst the elderly as it gives them a sense of fulfillment in life. According to the Ministry of Education, there are 86 community colleges in the country. Among them, Tzu Chi University has set up many extended learning courses. In 2016, TCU partnered with another educational foundation to set up even more learning courses filled with humanitarianism.
When the workload becomes too stressful, how does one find an outlet?
平常排解工作舒压，应该就是运动啦，就是学易经、学八字。它本身有禅修。
Pursuing hobbies or exercises and exploring a second field can help bring about a sense of accomplishment and lessen pressures in life. According to the Ministry of Education's numbers, on the island there are 86 community colleges, and in the year 2016 alone, as many as 405,000 citizens participated in courses.
It's not about developing one's talent, it's developing the talent plus humanitarian efforts. This will double the results.
We need to open our arms and embrace them. There are many new immigrants in our country.
Jingsi tea and floral arrangements can help calm the mind and chaotic hearts. Adult ballet helps muscle coordination as well as flexibility.
You will see changes in your body and become more confident.
将教室装了那个整个镜面拉帘，
We install mirrors in the classrooms and a ballet bar. Learning with joy is a positive force. We want the students to feel calm as well as drama joy as they take these courses.
Body and mind aesthetics use sound therapy to cleanse away negative emotions.
情绪消化不良也好
The vibration of the sound can help our brain relax.
共鸣，然后去让我们的大脑神经放松。双手放松，吐气，鞠躬15度里，45度。
This helps us release the pressures and fatigue we accumulate during work.
Learning as we grow old adds to one's life stories, as life can be as exciting as you want it to be.
DaAi Technology again received Taiwan Excellence Award for its products. This time, 3 types of backpacks were awarded for their best use in times of disaster. There's also a pair of sunglasses that are made with recycled materials. Anyone who has worn the sunglasses praised them for being light and comfortable.
This cool-looking pair of sunglasses was made with the leftovers of Tzu Chi's blankets while they were being made. The sunglasses made with recycled materials are environmentally friendly and also trendy.
戴起来是觉得蛮轻的啦，卡得还蛮紧的。
This backpack can also be used as a chair because it is tough enough, so rescuers can sit on them for resting while they are walking to save life.
可以释放 UVA、UVB。
The sunglasses can block out UVA, UVB, the reflections, and the blue light. For the purpose of rescue work, we created these 3 types of backpacks.
的精神呢，来开发这3款的袋包。
4 products, including the solar-powered LED backpack and the shield chair backpack from the DaAi Technology, received the Taiwan Excellence Awards this year.
Every time in the presidential office, I greet visitors or congressmen from countries in the South. They always hold their thumbs up for our Taiwanese excellent products being exhibited in their countries, and they claim Taiwanese products are wonderful.
503 excellent products were chosen from 1,209 for the 26th Taiwan Excellence Awards. These different inventions can testify to Taiwan's soft power.
A study found that only 20% of patients with spinal cerebral atrophy dare to get married. One reason may be that the dominant gene associated with this disease means offspring has a 50% chance of falling ill. Currently, there are 44 genes discovered to be related to this illness in the international community. Taiwan hospitals are only able to detect 10 such genes. Data also shows that 30 to 40% of such patients suffer from an unknown type of gene. This means that even with prenatal screening, there's no guarantee of having healthy children. This is the dilemma that many face as they fear passing down this hereditary disease.
At that time, I didn't think that this terrible genetic trait could possibly affect me.
His older brother experienced onset of the disease at the age of 20, some 8 years earlier than him. His brother's condition is so bad that he can no longer look after himself, as he was sent to a care center. Unfortunately, Zhenhui is destined to follow in the footsteps of his brother.
Now, when I need to buy something, my father needs to help me get it done.
Soon after his mother gave birth, the doctors found she had the disease spinocerebellar atrophy. Doctors at this time said that every child has a 50% chance of inheriting this disease. From the parents, there are 4 types of gene compositions, of which 2 pairs with the spinocerebellar atrophy gene type will be dominant and have a 50% chance of incidence.
This disease has 2 major characteristics. The first is that offspring have a higher incidence rate than their parents, and the second is the age of onset will be earlier than their parents.
Sure enough, her 2 sons came down with the disease before she did, and their condition quickly worsened.
At the moment, I have no goals or dreams. I'm simply trying to live one day at a time.
This tragedy should not continue to take place in society. We shouldn't let it affect future generations.
How to avoid the recurrence of this disease? If a family member is known to suffer from spinocerebellar atrophy, medical professionals will advise a prenatal screening test can take place if becoming pregnant. However, some 30 to 40% of patients have an unknown gene causing this disease.
Some of the family members who have this disease have been tested, and we can find the gene causing this disorder. So in this case, a prenatal examination does not help.
In fact, there are some with the disease who still want to pass on the family line.
For many of the Chinese, they think no children is a serious problem.
Doctors say that if such individuals must bear children and they have a known type of spinocerebellar atrophy, they can undertake IVF.
Physicians would then select the normal embryo, which has no abnormal gene, and then implant it into the mother so that she could give birth to a totally normal child.
At the moment, spinocerebellar atrophy is related to 44 distinct genes, as identified by the international medical community, but Taiwan hospitals can only detect 10 such genes. In fact, even if these patients undergo screening and artificial conception, this does not guarantee that the children will be born normal. Therefore, the best choice is not to have children. However, many parents gave birth only learning later that they had the illness.
My grandmother, mother, uncle, second aunt, fifth aunt, and the youngest aunt, and then my sister and I all have genetic spinocerebellar atrophy. The doctor said I might die from this disease within 10 years, or I could become paralyzed.
With 8 family members spanning 3 generations suffering from this illness, Mrs. Yan worries the most about her daughter, who is the family's 4th generation. Parents pray that their children do not fall victim to the disease, though it is highly likely because it is genetic. For this father, taking care of 2 sons with spinocerebellar atrophy is quite difficult in his aging condition.
These are my children. It's not their wishes to get this disease. I have to take care of them until my last breath.
In recent years, the medical profession has found that 70% of people suffering from spinocerebellar atrophy originate from the genes inherited by the family. Some 30% of those with this illness are patients who suffered from stroke or infected by a virus infection, car accident, alcohol abuse, or stroke. Lai Yuhui is the first generation in his family to suffer from this disease.
我那时候骑到170公里直接撞，这样子。
I was driving a car at 170 kilometers an hour and directly hit another car. At the hospital, they told me that this car accident led to a brain injury. Our family has done gene screening and no one has this disease. I'm the first generation to have it.
才知道我不是我是算第一代。
后天的，像病毒感染或是一些营养。
Acquired factors like a virus infection, poor nutrition, some medicine, and environmental factors can cause spinal cerebral atrophy pathology to be induced.
Now that pollution is commonplace, there may be more and more people suffering from spinal cerebellar atrophy.
Non-genetic spinocerebellar atrophy ratio is actually higher. At the moment, more than half of the patients are related to this type of illness.
Doctors say that whether this disease is inherited or developed, once one is diagnosed with spinal cerebellar atrophy, there's a chance it can be transmitted to the next generation. Therefore, it is very important to be aware of this disease and properly understand it. In our next installment, we'll look at the challenges this disease brings to Taiwan's domestic care environment.
TIMA's Northern Taiwan chapter hosts free clinics in Jinmen every 6 months, mainly to look after the health of the disadvantaged. They include the residents of the Sunrise Home who are physically or mentally disabled. TIMA has come to the Sunrise Home since 2005, helping with the residents' oral health. This time, a physical therapist also joined a free dental clinic to help set rehabilitation goals for the residents. Let's join them there.
3 teams of volunteers are setting up the dental equipment at the Sunrise Home for the Disabled, as this is the biannual dental-free clinic hosted by TIMA.
Our students have special needs. They often resist going to the dentist, and the parents can't do much to help in that department. When the TIMA doctors are here to check their oral health, we don't need to further worry about it.
A physical therapist also attends the free clinic, so he may educate the teachers on how best to take care of their charges.
We can help patients set goals for themselves. For example, some of the goals for the residents might be to be independent and not rely on others for help, or some just to be able to walk with a walking aid.
It's a hard-to-come-by opportunity as the Sunrise Home works with many physically and mentally disabled patients. They might not have mobility they want, so it's helpful to have a physical therapist here to guide and give us suggestions.
In Indonesia, Dinamika Primary School is located in Batagabon, the largest open landfill site. Since 90% of the students' families scavenge for a living, 40 Tzu Chis have brought the students school supplies and second-hand clothes. We'll leave you with these images at the end of our program. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye.